Hi, I'm Mark Panthalone. I work with Maybury Industrial Cleaning Equipment, and today we're going to go over the operation and daily maintenance of the PowerBoss Nautilus Low Dump Scrubber Sweeper. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you operate the machine for the day is to come over to the hood, press down the tab and lift up your hood, locking it in place. We're going to open the side door here, giving you clear access to the engine compartment. We want to take a look in here and see if there's any signs of an oil leak or hydraulic fluid leaking before we start the machine for the day. If everything looks good, our next step is going to be to pull up the dipstick and check the oil condition and the oil level. To close the hood compartment, we're going to press this tab forward, lower the hood, re-engaging the locks. We will now close the side door and engage the lock. The next step would be to come over and to take a look at the dirty water tank or the recovery tank. If this is filled, you should empty out all the dirty water before operation. The next step is going to be checking the clean water tank or the solution tank. Make sure you have the appropriate amount of water in there for daily operation. This is also where you're going to add your detergent or soap directly into the clean water tank. Then we're going to make our way around to the driver's side of the Nautilus. From here, we're going to check on the propane tank and the propane level. And we do that by, again, opening this tab, opening the side door, and taking a look at your propane tank. We want to check the level of the propane and make sure everything's hooked up properly. To gain access to the propane tank, there is a latch behind the driver's seat. We're going to push forward and lifting the seat up. To lock the seat into position, there is a latch here. We are going to press down. With the latch engaged, the driver's seat remains up, giving you clear access to the propane tank. To swap out the propane tanks, we have a latch here. You will open that. You will disengage the hose coupler, removing the old tank, putting the new tank in, hooking everything up proper, re-engaging your latch. To lower the seat, we're going to tilt it forward just slightly, lifting up this latch, allowing the seat to lower back in, locking itself into place. With a new propane tank in, everything ready to go, we're going to turn the propane on, lefty-loosey, and we're ready for operation. We're going to close this side door and lock it into place. Now we're going to get into the driver's seat and look at the operation of the Nautilus. If your Nautilus has a seatbelt, OSHA does require you to be wearing your seatbelt when you operate the machine. Here we have the ignition switch, the key switch, which is currently in the off position. With the key in the off position, now keys in the on position. To start the Nautilus, you will turn the key to the right and hold it, allowing the machine to turn over. This is your horn button, which will only be on when the key is engaged. Here we have our throttle switch. With the throttle switch in the middle, that is your idle mode. With the switch in the down position or turtle mode, that is your transportation mode, how you're moving the machine from point A to point B. With the switch in the up position or rabbit mode, this is maximum engine speed. This is where you are going to keep the throttle switch when you are ready to engage your squeegee, your scrubbing brushes, or your side broom. Coming to the dash, we have several lights here. This is your engine temperature light. If this light comes on, it means you are your engine may be overheating. Right here is your oil pressure light. If this comes on, again, there is an issue with your oil pressure. Stop the machine and investigate. This light indicates check engine light. When this engages, it's time to bring the machine to a designated area, have a technician or your service provider come out and take a look at what's going on. Our next light on the dash is our low propane or low LP light. When this light illuminates, it's time to remove and replace your propane. The next two lights on the dash would indicate, if this light comes on, indicates that your clean water or your solution tank is low and needs to be filled with clean water. If this light engages, it means your recovery tank or your dirty water tank is full and should be emptied. Next, we have multiple rocker switches here. Each one engages a different function on the Nautilus. This switch here in the down position will engage your side broom or your side scrub feature function. The middle rocker switch in the down position will engage your main scrubbing brooms. With this rocker switch in the down position, it will turn on your vacuum and squeegee. With all rocker switches in the down position, the green rocker switch is your go button. When it's pressed down, everything engages, everything is ready to go. To engage certain functions with this rocker switch down, if you want to just scrub with the machine, you would disengage the squeegee, disengage your side broom, and this will keep your main scrubbing brooms down on the ground, allowing you to do a double scrub. If you just wanted to vacuum up the water under the machine, you would turn off your broom and engage your squeegee. The next dial below is your down pressure dial. So there are 3 settings on the down pressure dial. This would be minimum down pressure. In the middle is medium down pressure, maximum down pressure. For daily use throughout your building, we would recommend the minimum down pressure setting. If you have a lot of buildup on the floor, heavy buildup, you can float between medium down pressure and heavy down pressure. Again, this all depends on the type of soil buildup. Our next dial is your water flow or your solution flow of clean water. With the dial all the way to the left, water is turned off. This is minimum water flow. And with the dial all the way to the right, that is your maximum water flow. Some Nautiluses may have the dry sweep option. That would be a rocker switch right here, which would be engaged, and that would engage your dry sweep mode with your main broom and squeegee activated. Next, we have our headlight rocker switch with the switch in the forward position that engages the taillights and headlights of the Nautilus. To adjust the steering column, we're going to take this lever or handle and move it forward, allowing you to adjust it to the appropriate height, whatever is more comfortable for the operator. To lock it back in, we're going to take this lever and pull it back toward you, locking it into place. Now, to operate the machine, it has a pedal here where you will press your toe forward, operating the machine, and a heel to go in reverse. With all your functions engaged, when you do press this pedal forward, that's going to engage the water to flow, the scrub brushes to scrub, and everything to go onto the machine. This is your brake pedal to brake the machine, to apply brakes to the Nautilus. Pressing it down and putting your toe forward is how you're going to engage the parking brake. To disengage, you're going to put a little pressure on there and lift it up. Now, to operate the machine, we have our transport pedal. Using your toe, if you press the pedal forward, we're going to move the machine forward. With whatever functions you have engaged, they will operate. Using your heel, pressing the pedal backwards, the machine will travel in reverse. To the left of the transport pedal, we have the brake pedal. You can press it down, engaging the parking brake with your toe. And to release, you will put a little pressure on the brake pedal, and the parking brake will disengage. One of the last functions or options you may have for your Nautilus will be either a power washer attachment or a low pressure hose attachment. This rocker switch here will engage the pump, allowing the water to flow. And I will show you how to hook that up. Your hose will be located here behind the driver's seat. Taking the hose, we're going to put it into this coupler, make sure it's locked into place. Once it's hooked up, we are going to engage the pump, which again activates the water. Then what we like to do, using this hose, you can spray out and clean the recovery tank. You can clean your side squeegees or your squeegee assembly in the rear using the clean water inside of the tank. When you're done with this option, you're going to come back over here. We are going to disengage the pump. We are going to take our hose, spray it into the recovery tank, releasing any pressure that's built up in the hose. Seat that back in behind the driver's seat. And then the last step would be to remove it. Push the coupler forward, pulling out the hose. Again, seating it nicely behind the driver. The last item that you get on your Nautilus is your hour meter. Tells you how many hours are on the machine. This is your data tag or your serial number information. And lastly, we have a QR code here, which allows you to scan it with a smartphone and gives you access to the parts manuals, user manual, service manual, all on your phone if you do not have the physical manuals on hand. Now that we went over operator use, we are going to cover the most critical part, which is daily maintenance and cleaning of the Nautilus machine. When you're done operating the machine, we're going to come to the rear of the Nautilus to drain the machine. First thing you're going to want to do is open the recovery tank lid to release some pressure. And then we're going to come to our dirty water or our drain hose and give this a good pinch. Loosen this at the top so we can take the cap off. And this is gravity fed, so when I bring it to the floor, all the dirty water will come out of the machine. So as you come down, you can pop the lid, release the neck, and as the dirty water is draining out of the machine, you can use the low pressure hose if your Nautilus has it. Rinse out the dirty water tank or the recovery tank. And then if you come to the left side, we have a operator step here, which gives you a good look into the recovery tank of the Nautilus. So after you pull the pin out, lock the step into place. You can step up, rinse out the machine with a hose, spray it out. When you're done with the step, pull the pin out, let the step go down, and reinsert it to its position. On the Nautilus, they have this great clean out port here. This is great for solid debris that settles at the bottom of the tank. So by turning this to the left, you can pop off the cover. If you have solid debris at the bottom of the tank, you can rinse it out easily or scoop it out. Give the cover a good rinse as well. When we're going to put this back on, we want to make sure that the rubber gasket is facing toward the machine when we put it back on. We want the stainless steel side facing the stainless steel. Rubber gasket visible. And we are going to put it back on. Righty-tighty. Make sure it's nice and snug. When the machine's done draining, put your cap back on, tighten it back into place, and hang it back up at the rear of the machine. This hose is your clean water hose. If and when you need to empty or drain all the clean water out of the machine, you will loosen this cap. Very similar to the drain hose, you will lower it to the floor and let all of the clean water drain out of the machine. This is your squeegee hose or your vacuum hose. This can be removed from the top and back flushed if necessary. Now we're gonna go over maintenance of your squeegee assembly. So you pull this bright orange handle out, and to lift up the squeegee assembly, there is a bumper latch release. Push it down, you'll hear the nice click, and the squeegee assembly will lift up and lock into place. Here, you have access to the entire squeegee assembly where you can check your squeegee blades, rinse and wipe out your squeegee assembly. The Nautilus has a quick release latch, allowing you to easily remove the band holding the squeegee in place. This is a great time to see if your squeegee is starting to round or roll over. You want to have a nice, square, straight edge on your squeegee. If your squeegee has started to round, you may notice the machine leaving some water behind. It's not completely drying the floor. That's a good sign that the squeegee may need to be flipped, making your outside edge your leading edge, and you can do that by simply pulling this off. You can flip the squeegee upside down, or you can flip it from side to side. And you can get 4 usable edges out of a squeegee before it needs to be replaced. We're going to put the band back on. It's that simple. So after you inspect your squeegee, give it a nice rinse, make sure everything is clean and ready to go. We're going to now focus on the debris tray, which is located underneath the Nautilus. There is another nice bright orange handle. You're going to pull it out. It has wheels on the head. Rolls around nicely. Inside the debris tray, we have 2 trays that can be lifted out. The solid debris can be dumped into a garbage can, so we don't want this clogging up your drains or getting into any of your drains, creating clogs. So from there, we're going to dump out the solid debris. Using a hose, you're going to give the debris tray a nice rinse. Make sure it's all cleaned out, ready to go. You put the debris tray away. Slide it back under the machine. Get it nice and lined up until it stops and you can no longer push it. And then we're going to lower the squeegee assembly, which is going to in turn push the debris tray where it needs to be. To lower the squeegee assembly, we're going to put a little pressure on this handle, taking this lever, this orange lever, pushing it up, and then the squeegee assembly will go down. And while you're lowering the assembly, you give it a push, and it will seat the debris tray underneath the machine. When you're done with the squeegee assembly, you're going to put the bar back into place. Now, the last step, daily maintenance, is going to be inspecting the brushes and cleaning out the brushes. To do that, we're going to lift up this door, giving us access to the scrub deck and the side squeegee, as well as our brooms. To open this assembly, there is a black handle here. We're going to lift it up, and it opens. Again, easy access to the scrub deck, giving you a good view of the squeegee. Make sure it's clean. You can rinse off this door. To gain access to the brushes, we're going to grab these two handles, and just a nice little pull comes right off. You can rinse this door off as well when you're cleaning the machine. Now we have access to the brush. Again, a very simple pull, and the brush will come off the hub on the other side, allowing you to pull it out, inspect it, make sure there's no debris wrapped around the brush, make sure there's, nothing on there that's going to obstruct the brushes. We're going to give it a good rinse. And if you take a close look here at the brush, we have some yellow bristles. This is our indicator tab. If you notice the other bristles approaching this yellow tuft, it's time to replace your scrub brooms. So after you take it out, you can actually flip the brush head over heels, allowing you to allow the brush to wear at a more even pace. To put the brush back in, you want to make sure it's going in nice and straight till it stops. I like to do a little step on here, push it in a little bit more. Then once it gets in, you can lift it up. You're going to give it a little turn until it seats. And right there, it'll lift up off the ground, and the broom has been reinstalled. You will do the same thing with the rear broom on the other side of the machine. Same door, same setup, same way to remove the broom. The last step is putting the door back on. You want to line up these little metal tabs with these ears. It's in. And then lastly, you're going to close your door and lower your flat. And that is the daily maintenance of the PowerBoss Nautilus Low Dump Scrubber Sweeper. Thank you very much.